inside the house, everything's taken care by Neeta Ambani. So everything was neatly arranged, and she was being very, very sweet and humble. So as a person, like, she appreciates art a lot. So and she herself is a dancer. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Lalit Dhanush Show. Today I have with me a very special guest. She's an extremely elegant dancer, and this dancer has done some things that most dancers could only dream of. First, she's gone to Mukesh Ambani's house not just once but 4 times to perform in front of them. And she's also performed in front of the topmost Bollywood actors and actresses. Without further ado, let's welcome our very next guest, Spurti Ashok. Now, before we go to Spurti, I want to remind each one of you to subscribe to our channel, The Lalit Dhanush Show, and comment if you really like this episode. Hello Spurti, welcome to The Lalit Dhanush Show. How does it feel to come on this show?
Well, I'm very glad I'm here, and it was a pleasure and a lovely meeting you. So I'm waiting to go ahead.
Yeah, let's rock it. And Spurti, when I was planning to invite you, one of the things that I also understood that is you've been such a passionate dancer, and me going through your videos along with my team, we soon recognized that everybody in your family also comes from a dance background. And when we had a conversation, one similarity that I found out was both of us came from the same college. We were both from Jain College, and we're alumnus from there. And you've been a part of the dance team. So here's my question. How was it to be a part of Jain College, and did Jain College really give you a great opportunity in terms of dance, or was it when you started?
So it was, of course, not when I started. I started because of my whole family is into the whole field. So I started off when I was 7, and of course I think I did my bachelor's in Jain, and they played a very, very, very important role too, because the teachers were so supportive, be it if I'd ask for time off, to travel for shows, so attendance or anything was taken care of, and all the teachers were so supportive. So I think Jain really helped me continue my passion and take it forward.
Awesome. I think even for anybody, in fact, who's studying at Jain, if they have a specific passion, Jain opens up the gate of opportunity,
definitely,
right?
Definitely. They're very supportive too, when it comes to any of the cultural activities that you want to take up. So they're very supportive that way.
Yes. And also, I really like the part where you said that you started when you were 7 years old. And do you think today that you pursue it professionally, did starting early actually make the difference?
Well, actually, initially, what I've been told, that I wasn't interested. So, initially, I was because my dad is a dancer. So, we've been watching my dad perform. So, I wasn't that interested. But later, I think, because I joined at an early age, and I started developing interest into the form. So that's what's gotten me to continue for 15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just to set a little bit of context for all the viewers, now Spurti here is not just a very passionate dancer. I must say, for 22, she's quite an accomplished dancer, because she's performed in front of the most significant people in India. And I must say, being a business person, performing in Ambani's house, forget in front of Ambani, performing in Ambani's house, not just once, not just twice, but 4 times is a testimony by itself. Now, I want to ask you, how is that feeling performing literally in front of the greatest businessmen that India has ever seen?
I think it was magical.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, you don't want to show it, but I think inside you're okay. I mean, we were very thrilled. It was a very exciting experience. And the first time when we went in, so I mean, it's obviously there are a lot of protocols and it's confidential, and we wanted to get some pictures or anything, but just witnessing them in front of us and them watching what we love doing. So it was a great experience, and they were very, very supportive. They were so making us feel so homely and comfortable. So yeah, that was one good experience.
I can only imagine what it was to like go into somebody's house like that, because literally Ambani is the significance of not just wealth but also success in a very large way, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching Ambani's videos where famous actors were serving in Ambani's daughter's wedding, right? And now here you are inside their house performing for them. One quick question. Everybody, I'm sure the viewers would be thinking, how is that house of Ambani's? Because it's a monument on its own, right?
Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, like how we would have thought. It's exactly like that. So you enter in and you're just so mesmerized. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is how I had imagined.
Oh.
So yeah, it was completely magical, like a museum.
Okay, wow. Museum is a very big word. But now I want to know what part of the house was really nice.
So where we performed, it was a beautiful aura and it had such a positive vibe. And I think it's inside the house, everything's taken care by Neeta Ambani. So it was, everything was neatly arranged and she was being very, very sweet and humble. So as a person, like she appreciates art a lot. So
Okay.
and she herself is a dancer. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer. So she really appreciated like the whole thing, and it was the setup that they had created for us. It was wonderful.
Wow. Was it any specific occasion that you went for that?
There were two occasions. I think it was for I'm not sure if I get the name right. It was a corporate event actually. So
Okay.
they had their own guests who had
Okay,
come
so
over.
they did have guests
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Wonderful. Now, speaking of this, I also want to talk about a few other people that you've performed in front of. Definitely a lot of Bollywood stars, one of them being Anupam Kher, who's also known as a very intellectual mind. How was it performing in front of him, and did you get to get his feedback or comments from him?
Yes, we did. So initially it was, I have a sister, an elder sister, so both of us performed there. So even we weren't aware that he was the guest for that day. So when we realized that, and we were very thrilled to be performing in front of him. And after the program, he himself came up because we were standing
Wow.
there and we wanted to click a picture with him and there were a lot of people around. So he himself came up and said, I think we need to click a picture with the dancers, and we were very thrilled and he really appreciated it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was lovely meeting him.
I think especially for anybody who's young and pursuing their journey with their passion, such an experience can not only be a very proud moment but also very humbling, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Anupam Kher has been there, done that. He's seen his level of success. And for him to come up and say, let's click a picture for you
Yeah.
guys should be, I think,
that
a
was
testimony.
very, very humble, very noble, and we were also like, it was such a sweet gesture.
Yeah.
And small things like this even make us, very happy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's complete validation for the hard work you've put in through the years. Now, we've spoken a little bit about your success, like they say, the cherry on the cake. But I want to understand, before the cherry came, before even the frosting was put up, there were many layers of the base that was set up. Now, when you started when you were 7, like you said, how was that journey? Like, did you click with dance immediately, or what happened throughout that journey?
So initially, because my dad is my mentor, we did not start off with my dad.
Okay.
So I am trained under Kathak as well.
Okay.
So first we joined Kathak classes under my gurus Nirupama and Rajendra sir. So I think that was their criteria. My parents didn't want us to join at our dance class. So we joined them first, and I think that's how we built interest, and that's how we also wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
And that's how we started off with my dad.
I must say that's such a brilliant move. And can I ask you why they did that? Why did your parents decide to put you in under a different mentor when they could have mentored you so beautifully well?
I think they didn't want, as when you're like a young budding, artist, so they didn't want you to be like, because it's your dad, so generally you're more comfortable with
Yeah.
him. They didn't want us to take him lightly.
Correct.
And if we may not take up dance that seriously, so they just wanted to, they didn't have any pressure, we didn't have any pressure, they just wanted to go with the flow. So because they were worried, saying they might, take it up lightly, so we started off with another guru.
Yeah, I think that's again, like I said, a very smart move. And most people don't understand this, but for your parents to do it so well, kudos to them on that. Now, let's talk about some of your other really massive big performances. Of course, you've danced in front of celebrities, but I'm sure you've danced in massive big places where the opportunity would be at a massive scale. Can you tell me some of your shows?
So my dad has trained the first person to train blind students,
Okay.
Bharatanatyam. So we used to travel a lot abroad.
Okay.
So a lot of shows there in UK, US, Australia, Malaysia, and here we go to a lot of festivals like Konark Festival, Hampi Utsava. So yeah, all these.
Wonderful. Now, what do you think when people abroad look at a classical form like this? What do you think is their perception immediately? Because it's not very easy to understand it. It takes a little more of deeper level of understanding. How do they perceive this?
I think they're all just so mesmerized when they see classical form. So generally we pick particular compositions when we know our audience. So what kind they would enjoy. So I think there we just pick a very catchy music or anything like that they would enjoy. So I think they're all just mesmerized and they don't want to. I don't think they're looking deep because they probably might not understand. So yeah, I think they just enjoy it thoroughly to watch something new and so traditional.
It can also be very refreshing for people like that.
Yes, definitely.
Moving on, I know for a fact that many dancers at some point of time do face many challenges, right? It's just not the art form that they're dealing with. It could be a potential about their career, their opportunities that they're going to get. What could be something that upcoming dancers or people who want to pursue you could say their career in this, what advice could you give them?
Well, to start off, I don't think at any profession it's easy. Like you always, you take time to reach there. So generally in this field, you got to keep, there's no end. So like dance is, there's no end to any profession. You're always learning throughout life. So you start off slow and you just, I think if you love what you're doing, then it'll take you to heights like dedication, hard work, and that's what will make you reach into wherever you want to be. So I think, you just have to put your complete self into what you're doing and you will reach heights.
Correct. And I definitely agree on the point where you said learning and especially lifelong learning plays such an important role. Now, let's speak a little bit about your father, because for him, who's also a dancer, tell us a little bit about how he keeps learning and how he keeps his routine and regime going on.
Nowadays, I think, because we're also growing with him, he's also still growing with us. He's learning so many new things, both me and my sister. We have so many new ideas coming up, so we share that with him and he shares his ideas with us. So I think we're both learning with each other at the same time. So he's like, because our generation is different to his, so he's coming into our generation and seeing what's new, what new things can be done. So it's a complete process of its own.
Yeah. And I think that also speaks volumes about people who are successful, right? Because you take it, the Ambanis or even anybody who's starting like you or somebody who's made it like your father, one of the things that you got to be is have an open mindset to new forms, new updates, new transformations, because if you don't do that, you eventually, I don't want to say perish or die, but eventually you will not be considered special or successful, right? What do you think about that?
Actually, it's okay. I mean, even if you don't adapt, it's okay. Like retaining the own culture, our own heritage, it's a wonderful thing. And coming from classical forms, which are so rich, so it's okay if you don't adapt. But I think now the audience are expecting more.
Correct.
So we have a lot of art connoisseurs who want to, they're seeing a lot of other things. So they also expect saying, when others are trying, why aren't you coming out of the box and like going for new things? So I think that's where even we dancers put effort into trying the new trends or, picking up the new style that is going on in the society. So yeah, I think that's how even they get adapted to change.
Lovely. I also want to ask you this question, which has been lingering in my head. The thing is, again, going back to you starting at 7 years of age, do you think that if other people who want to pursue art, do you think starting early gives them an early starter's advantage?
It does, but again, age is only a number. So you start off at any age and you can pick it up. I mean, if you love what you're going to be doing, then I think age doesn't matter at all. Well, it could. I mean, I think for any job, or for that matter, when you start off early, of course, you know, get a lot of experience and you learn a lot more. But you start off at any age, you're still going to reach there. So
Correct.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
So I was reading this book recently. It's called The Outliers. It's written by Malcolm Gladwell. He says that no matter who you are, how talented you are, if you can put in 10,000 hours of practice, you will definitely become an expert.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Do you think practice is what takes you to the next level?
Definitely, and especially in my field, it's all about practice and building your stamina, trying out new things. So, like what they say, practice makes a man perfect, and I think that's what we also believe in and practice towards that. So, yeah, in dance, like building stamina, being able to perform for hours, it's all because of practice. So, without practice, we won't be able to do it.
Correct. And building stamina is, I think, quite key. Many people underestimate that. For that, you also got to keep a very good, healthy regime and all of that.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you do?
Oh, well, for people who are listening to me who know me, they would, you know, laugh because I really don't follow any regime, because I am a big foodie.
Okay.
So I love food, I love eating junk food or anything. I think it's just when you keep practicing, you hydrate yourself, and so it's not really that we dancers like are always eating healthy. But yeah, I think we try to maintain our health and just go ahead by that.
I think it's the small steps, right? I think that's what is key.
Yeah, correct.
Like if you keep adding those small steps, eventually when the day of the show or when the day of your 8-hour practice session comes,
I mean,
it'll come in roll.
Yeah, if you like practice enough, you also make sure you get good rest and like you're keeping yourself calm and around that aura. So
Now how important is it for people to take rest? Because somehow I feel in this generation of ours, we've over exaggerated hard work to a point where people say less sleep means more success. What do you think about it?
well, I really don't believe in that. I mean, hard work, if you're completely into it, even if you put 1 hour or 2 hours, it is more than enough. Like if you're just like working 8 hours straight, 10 hours straight, and you're still not able to achieve something, then something is going wrong.
Correct.
So if you put in 2 hours with all your mind, then that's all is needed at the end of the day.
Correct. Because if you put in 8 hours, I feel you'd rather do a 2-hour great job than an 8-hour
Exactly.
average job.
That's so true. Correct.
So, in coming back to your college days, one of the things that we spoke about was we being in Jain College and Jain College giving us that opportunity. Now, do you think that for people who are not in Jain College, it's important for them to be a part of a dance community, at least surrounded by some really good dancers or people who have the same passion? Because I believe you have a rub off, right? If you have somebody who's equally passionate, to walk that journey is very easy. What do you think as a dancer?
Well, it's not that in colleges it is nice if you're a part of the community, you join the team and like, you know, you have extracurricular activities going on apart from studies. That really helps. And if you make friends, colleagues who are also in the same path, and you get to share a lot of things that you are also going through with them. So I think that does play an important role. So like if you're like studying or anything in college, it's not always about, you got to enjoy and like if you're passionate about something like dance, music or anything, and if they have a community, it's always nice to be a part of it.
Correct. And speaking of community, there's a lot of learning there.
Yes,
like
of
you
course,
mentioned.
yeah.
Now, I think the other form of learning is having a mentor. We've spoken about your dad. We've also spoken about your other mentor. What about other dancers who want to go professional? How key is it to have a mentor help you go to that professional level?
So there's a saying in, so there's this shloka that we follow, Acharyat padamadate, padam shishya swamedaya, padam sab brahmacharibhyaha, padam kalakramena cha. So what it says is, quarter you learn from your mentor, and quarter you learn from your friends, and quarter you practice by yourself, and that's when you reach to a level. So I think when you have like when you see each other, you grow so much more.
Correct.
Like when your friends are helping you, you learn from their mistakes, your mistakes, and of course your mentors are always there to help you out. So I think everybody in the field play a very important role in
Correct.
taking you up to the level.
So I think it's like synergy, right? It's
Yeah.
not just one thing, it's a collective force of multiple things. I think you said it very well there. Now, we've been speaking about all the happy things, the happy moments throughout your journey. But I also want to bring about that every individual, no matter where they come from or who they are, also face a lot of struggle, also face some challenges, can be mentally sometimes. Now, what were some of the challenges and struggles that you went through at a personal level?
So I think because I've been around my father and my sister, like because in the same field, so somewhere sometimes even I've let myself down because of the expectations, or if I'm being there yet, because I see both of them are doing so great in front of me, and they're such great leaders, and I look up to them a lot. So if I have to reach up to their expectations, if I'm doing well, so I think that itself for me was a little setback where I was worried about myself. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Fantastic. Now, again, like you said, there were very big mentors and support systems for you. Now, what did you actually do there? Did you have some amount of self-talk, or did your dad intervene to help you out through that phase? What happened?
I think you just work on yourself. So I started working on myself, and of course I have my sister to support me. So I work with her, and be it anything, like I talk it out with my father, and it's a very healthy competition because we're all into getting new ideas all the time. So we're sharing that with each other. So like always helping each other gain up confidence back.
Wow. I think there's one commonality that I find not just with one or two people, but people who are actually pursuing their passion and are quite good at it, just like yourself. You said, I started learning and I started becoming better. And second, you found your own 2 feet, right? You did not chase anything. So it comes to this one great understanding that I have, that the biggest competition for you is nobody around you but yourself.
Yourself, definitely.
Correct?
Yeah, correct.
And especially in a dance form or in an art form, as you're growing and becoming better, if you can become better than yourself, then eventually, maybe 10, 15 years from now, people will look up to you and say, hey, I want to be just like that.
Yeah, so true, correct.
Now, speaking of the future, I want to ask you, where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years as a dancer?
I want to build up my own dance institute. I'm already teaching both the forms, Kathak
Okay.
and Bharatanatyam. So I think I have two great mentors in Kathak and Bharatanatyam field. So give back something to the society because I have learned so much from it. So keep performing and perform all over the world, train more students, learn more myself. I'm still so young. So learn and build my own dance institute and just be a good, great dancer.
Awesome. Now, I want to ask why. Why do you choose to give back? Because this is a part I completely believe that most people don't understand or don't consider at all. Why do you want to give back?
There is so much that we have gotten from, our culture or from the society. Like we have received so much. So through what you are learning, through what you're passionate about, I think that's the max that you can do from your side.
Correct.
Just like, a small, be it any small thing, like you make somebody watch your performance and they're happy, that's what makes you happy.
Correct.
So I think that's why I would,
So I think as a fellow teacher and coach, one thing I understand is it starts with tremendous amount of gratitude.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have gratitude, I feel gratitude is like filling your own cup, and because you have gratitude, you can fill somebody else's cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
So I want to know, what have you been learning in the journey of you being a teacher? I'm sure they say when a teacher starts teaching, that person starts learning a lot more. What do you learn from your students?
It actually takes us back to how when we were learning. So when you're watching your students, and you know, it's the little joys when they get it and when they come and tell you, saying, yes ma'am, I finally got this, and that's the joy that you get, saying, okay, maybe something that, you know, I have also done. Like it's such a joy to share their joy with you. So it's always a learning process. Even though I'm still learning now and teaching at the same time, there's a lot to learn. And
Correct.
like you watch the students, and with them even you are like adapting to a lot of new styles. So yeah, there's a lot of learning going on.
Awesome. Spurti, I must say it's been such a refreshing feeling to have you on the show, because I've always wanted to dig somebody's brains who's a dancer and understand how they perceive the world, because it's quite different from where I come from a business background. So thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really a pleasure, and the last 25-30 minutes just went so quickly, so fast, that I'm sure everybody who's watching this and who's aspiring to be an artist will definitely take some amount of inspiration and motivation from your journey.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely talking to you. I enjoyed.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.